Is it actually possible to control how search engine robots crawl your site? What they see, what they remember, and what they stay away from? Well, sort of. You can't control everything they do, but you can give them a clear set of rules. That's where Robots TXT comes in. If you want better SEO, cleaner crawling, and fewer surprises in search results, understanding this tiny file is essential. But if you make one of the common mistakes I talk about today, it can do a lot more harm than good, from blocking your entire site to wasting your crawl budget on nonsense. In this video, I'll show you how to build a practical Robots TXT game plan for WordPress. You'll learn what Robots TXT actually does, which rules are safe to use, the biggest mistakes that quietly ruin your SEO, and how to fix those issues fast. Plus, along the way, I'll show you how Robots TXT and performance work together, including how a powerful performance plugin like WP Rocket can easily level up your entire site and help you get more from every bit of work your team puts in across the board. So, what does Robots TXT actually do? Robots TXT is a small text file in the root of your WordPress site, right next to folders like WP Admin and WP Content. When a crawler like Googlebot visits your site, Robots TXT is one of the very first files it checks. Inside are simple instructions telling bots which areas are okay to crawl and which they should skip. Most Robots TXT files are built around 4 key directives. User agent, which bot the rules are for. Disallow, what paths the bot should not crawl. Allow, exceptions to disallow or paths that are explicitly allowed. And sitemap, the URL of your XML sitemap that helps crawlers discover more pages. Here's a pretty standard WordPress setup. There's an asterisk for user agent. WP admin area is disallowed, but essential WP admin functionality is allowed. And finally, it provides a sitemap location. Before I go any further, let's look at how to edit Robots TXT. For this demo, I'll use the Rank Math SEO plugin. Rank Math makes it easy with the virtual Robots TXT file inside of WordPress, so you can edit it right from your dashboard without needing FTP or hosting access. First, go to your WordPress dashboard and select Rank Math SEO. Make sure you're in advanced mode. You'll find the toggle for this in the top right corner, then click General Settings. Next, click Edit Robots TXT. This opens Rank Math's Robots TXT editor. Free users will see a basic text editor with default rules already populated. Rank Math Pro users will see advanced options, including a built-in Robots TXT tester. Now you can add or modify your Robots TXT rules directly. Rank Math automatically inserts recommended defaults, including your sitemap, but you can customize them however you prefer. If you're using the free version, you can edit the file and then click the Robots TXT tester link beneath the editor to verify your changes using Rank Math's external testing tool. If you're using Rank Math Pro, you can edit and test Robots TXT live without leaving WordPress. Just switch to the Editor tab, make your changes, and click Validate Code. If the test fails or you make a mistake, hit Revert Changes to undo it. When you click Validate, Rank Math opens the tester with your site already loaded. Choose a user agent, like Googlebot, and click Test to confirm whether your rules behave as expected. Once you're satisfied, click Save Changes to publish your Robots TXT rules. And as always, make changes carefully. A single bad line can have serious SEO consequences. Do you need Robots TXT? Technically, no. But if you care about SEO, crawling efficiency, or privacy, Robots TXT becomes one of the most important files you can configure. When done right, a Robots TXT file helps you keep low-value pages out of search results, protect your crawl budget so bots don't waste time on the wrong pages, point crawlers to your sitemap for better discovery, and reduce unnecessary crawling from bots, at least those that obey the rules. Just beware. When you get Robots TXT wrong, you can confuse crawlers or even block your best content. With that in mind, let's break down the 14 biggest Robots TXT mistakes you should avoid. The first mistake is leaving Discourage search engines on for your live site. This sneaks in through the WordPress internal Robots TXT and can keep your entire site from being indexed. Always double-check this when launching or migrating a site. The second mistake to avoid is blocking essential CSS or JavaScript. Modern search engines render pages like browsers to better understand the full content of the page. If they can't load your CSS and JavaScript, they can misinterpret layout, interactivity, and core content, and that'll harm your rankings. If you're worried that assets are slowing down crawlers or visitors, the solution isn't to hide them with Robots TXT. The solution is to optimize them. Minify CSS and JavaScript, remove unused CSS where possible, and delay and defer JavaScript. This is exactly where a performance plugin like WP Rocket shines. It saves you tons of time and effort. WP Rocket improves load times and reduces the workload on your server. How? It automatically applies 80% of performance best practices, including gzip compression, CSS and JavaScript minification, caching, including mobile caching, critical image optimization, automatic lazy rendering, and cache preloading. WP Rocket also further optimizes file delivery with the removal of unused CSS, by deferring JavaScript, and by delaying JavaScript execution. That way, crawlers and humans both see a fast, fully rendered page without risky Robots TXT rules that block core resources. The third common mistake, putting Robots TXT in the wrong place. Crawlers only look for your website .com/robotstxt, not blog/robotstxt. And if you use subdomains, each one needs its own Robots TXT. Fourth, don't get caught using outdated directives like noindex and crawl delay. A lot of older tutorials still say to put noindex inside Robots TXT, or rely on crawl delay to throttle search engines. The problem? Google ignores both of these. Google handles crawl rate inside Search Console, not inside the Robots TXT file. Bing still recognizes crawl delay, but for most WordPress sites, including these directives just adds confusion and increases the risk of breaking something. If you want to keep a page out of search results, use a meta noindex tag inside the page itself. And if you want to control how fast Googlebot crawls your site, adjust crawl settings in Search Console instead of relying on Robots TXT. The fifth mistake is copying staging rules to production. On staging, it's normal to block all bots. Just don't ship that to your live site. If your newly launched site doesn't show up in Google, this is one of the first things to check. Mistake 6, forgetting your sitemap directive. Without it, crawlers may waste time guessing your site structure or miss entire sections, leading to inconsistent crawling and confusing results. It's one simple line that looks like this. You can absolutely submit your sitemap directly in Search Console, but putting it in Robots TXT gives any compliant bot a fast, reliable way to find your content. Mistake number 7 is writing conflicting rules. For example, disallow/allow/blog/. That's confusing and can lead to unpredictable behavior. In general, more specific rules win. But conflicting directives make debugging much harder and can damage SEO. To avoid this, keep your rules simple and intentional. Start with broad, sensible defaults. Add specific exceptions instead of fighting your own directives. And finally, test every change. More on this in a second. 8. Using Robots TXT as a security feature to hide sensitive content. Remember, Robots TXT is public. Anyone can visit /Robots TXT and see exactly what paths you're trying to hide. If you list /secret area/ in Robots TXT, you've basically put a big arrow on it. If something is truly sensitive, client data, internal dashboards, anything behind logins, use password protection and proper authentication, not Robots TXT. Use noindex to keep pages out of search and real security protocols to keep out users and bots alike. Misusing wildcards is common mistake number 9. Wildcards, like an asterisk or $, are powerful. Asterisk matches any characters. $, matches the end of a URL. For example, this would block all URLs that end in .pdf. Used carefully, this can be great. Used carelessly, it can wipe out whole sections of your site from crawling. Mistake 10 is mixing absolute URLs into disallow rules. Robots TXT is designed for relative paths like /private/, not full URLs like yoursite.com/private/. Absolute URLs can be ignored or misinterpreted by bots. The only time you should use a full URL is in the sitemap line. Mistake 11, forgetting that Robots TXT is case sensitive. These two paths are not the same. If your rules don't seem to work, double-check capitalization in both your URLs and your Robots TXT file. Mistake 12 is misusing trailing slashes. Disallow /private/ blocks the directory and everything inside it. Disallow /private can also block URLs like /private.html or /privateer. If you intend to target a directory, use the trailing slash and test. Forgetting subdomains is mistake 13. Search engines treat dev.yoursite.com or shop.yoursite.com as separate sites. Each needs its own Robots TXT if you want to control crawling. It's very common for a subdomain to be open to crawling simply because no Robots TXT was ever set. And finally, mistake 14 is never testing your Robots TXT changes. This is the big one. Tiny syntax errors can have huge consequences, especially on larger sites. Every time you edit Robots TXT, you should use Google Search Console's Robots TXT report. Use a crawler like Screaming Frog to simulate behavior, and test changes in a staging environment before pushing live. Okay, so what if you're watching this and thinking, I've already made one of these mistakes, maybe more than one? Let's talk about how to recover. The first step is to fix the Robots TXT file itself. You can do this within the Rank Math plugin. Open the Robots TXT editor and remove any overly broad disallow rules. Clean up outdated or conflicting directives. Add your sitemap line if it's missing. And finally, save the new file. Step 2, test the new version. Rank Math Pro users can do this from within their dashboard. Or you can do it for free from the external Rank Math Robots TXT tester. Enter your website URL, click Test. You'll receive actionable insights to correct any warnings or errors. Step 3. If important pages were previously blocked, request indexing. In Google Search Console, use the URL inspection tool to submit those pages and resubmit your sitemap so crawlers rediscover everything faster. To do that, go to Search Console. Choose URL inspection in the left-hand menu. Type in your URL at the top, then click Request Indexing at the bottom of the top box that loads on the next page. After that, it's mostly a waiting game. But you can stack the odds in your favor by making sure your site is fast and easy to crawl. That means good internal linking, clear sitemaps, and strong performance. This is where Robots TXT and WP Rocket complement each other really well. Robots TXT tells crawlers where to go. WP Rocket helps make sure that when they get there, your pages load quickly, your assets are optimized, and your server isn't struggling under the load. That's it for today. Have you made a Robots TXT error? How'd you fix it? Did I miss any common mistakes? Let me know in the comments.